Good morning. I want to start today's video with a question to you. What do you think of your posture? Do you think about it at all? If I were to ask you to rate your posture, how would you rate it and what would you say? Let me take a guess. Most of you would say it's okay, not ideal, but not bad either. In other words, you're getting by. But think about it. Posture deteriorates over time, be it lifestyle habits, aging, or most important thing, we cannot control that is gravity. But although we can't control the gravity effects on our posture, can we do something about it? Yes, we can. So in today's video, we're going to talk about postural awareness. Now, why awareness and not the exercises immediately? Because we need to know where we are now before we can move forward to where we want to be. It's not a long way round because without awareness, we probably won't know how best to move forward or even appreciate the way forward. So let's start with a few beginner's tips on postural awareness, how we can get a clearer assessment of where we are now. Welcome to my channel. I'm Hilda, a certified movement trainer. I'm here to share self-care tips on how you can improve your physical well-being. Let's get started. The first step to evaluating your own posture, i.e., giving yourself the awareness of where you are right now, is to start with the right chair. Now, the chair need not be so high, okay, but it shouldn't be low either. So when you sit on it, it's really important that the hips is higher than your knee. And also it needs to be a hard surface, not a soft surface. Let's dive into the details. Slowly sit on the chair, and from there, put your hands where your hips are, which is your bikini line, and swipe down the front of your thighs just to give yourself the awareness that the hips are higher than your knees. This is the best sitting position. Feel where your sit bones are in relation to your pelvis and your spine. Now from here, some of you may or may not feel the sit bones, and if you can't, lean forward and pull your buttock flesh up and gently try to sit down again, but with the buttock flesh pulled up. You should be able to feel the bony bits on the chair right now. Now sit, because you will feel how stacked up your pelvis is in relation to the spine with the support of the sit bones. How long can you sit this way for? How long can you remain upright? Let's make a 20 counts. At your own pace, slowly, deliberately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Go at your own pace, but slow and deliberate. Heights of chairs vary. Most chairs are not at the optimum height where we should sit. What you just saw was the optimum height where, upon sitting, you will find your hips higher than your knee. That is the best thing to do for our posture. But in most cases, chairs are like this one, whereby your hip is about the same height as your knee. Not that this is bad for us, but we can make it more ideal for our postural awareness. On the lower chair, you can prop it up with a Pilates prop like this, which will give you about 1 inch to 2 inches height. If you don't have this prop at home, you can stack up books and sit on it. Just make sure that any books that you use will be about the same sizes so that you can sit comfortably, and again have your hips higher than your knees. So it's the same thing as what we did just now. Sit on it and make sure your pelvis and your spine is nicely stacked up and supported on your sit bones. And again, from here, do a very slow count of 20 times. Slow, deliberate pace count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And from here, just see how long you can stay in this position without dropping in your chest or slumping in your spine. Make a mental note to yourself. Next, let's find ourselves a stick. The width is broader than the shoulders, about 45-degree angle from each side. Now, if you don't have such a stick at home, you can use a broomstick, an umbrella, or even a golf club. Just make sure that it's not too thick and make sure it's not uneven. Hold it up to chest height. And from here, again, do the slow, deliberate 20 counts. Before you do that, just make sure your shoulders are rolled back, your spine upright, and you can start. Hold the stick and make sure it's even on both sides, your left and the right, and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And just see what changes are there in your arm length, your shoulder height, your spine, and so on. When you're done with 20 counts, you can bring the stick down. And from here, we can then proceed to the next postural awareness, where we will be holding it up, almost overhead, but not quite. Now, it's important that while we do this, we don't stick out the front ribs and we don't protrude in our abdominal. See if you can stand as straight as possible in your spine, as upright as possible. And if you are having difficulties holding the stick up overhead, you can bring it down a little bit. The important thing is have both sides of your upper arm reaching out to the ends of the stick. Have your spine straight. And from here, again, count up to 20, the slow, deliberate counts, and see how long you can hold it for before your posture changes. All these will tell us where we are in terms of our postural ability. And with that, we will have our postural awareness. Now, last but not least, let's see how rounded forward our shoulders are, which is a big factor in our posture. So from here, clip your upper arm towards your side body and palms face up. Pay attention to how you feel in your shoulders as your shoulders roll backwards. And see how long you can hold this for. Count up to 20. I'd like to give a summary of what you have just seen. So we have postural awareness on seated position with a higher chair and a lower chair. If you're on a lower chair, you can actually prep up with books or even yoga blocks or anything that will give you certain height so that your hips are higher than your knees. Stay there and let's do a 20 counts to see how you feel, how you're able to hold up the posture without slumping. And then the next one will be standing with the stick in front of you, slightly lower than your chest, and with the stick higher than your shoulders this way. Now, if you can't go up so high, you can stay here. But the important thing is open up your shoulders and stay that way. Again, 20 counts. And from there, we have this, which is actually a good way to know how rounded your shoulders are. Because if your shoulders are really rounded from too much computer work, this one will be able to make you feel if you're able to rotate your shoulders and open up your chest at all. It's a very good assessment. Now, what does all this mean? It's actually a kind of reflection to self. So if we know where we are in our posture, we would want to hopefully find a way forward that would help us improve. Because when we improve, not only do we breathe better, we look taller, we're more confident. You know what's great is our organs would also function better. And that is an important part of anti-aging. But more about that in my coming videos. So I'm going to end the video here. This is the first time I'm doing videos of this nature, really step-by-step beginner's guide. I do need some of your feedback if possible. Leave me a comment in the section below on what you think, how you feel. If you want to know more, I'll be sure to reply ASAP as soon as I see your comments because your feedback is important to me on how I can improve my content. And with this, I'm going to ask that you do give me a thumbs up if you feel any of this postural awareness is helpful to you. Join me to grow my channel and subscribe to it. So until next time, take care, have a lovely day, a week, and see you in my next video. And last but not least, I just can't help but to remind you again, 20 counts, but slow, deliberate counts. So don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and then done. That doesn't work. Go in a deliberate pace like 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay? That's all. Again, see you in my next video.